Hey guys, it's Michelle, and today's video is going to be all about the unsolved murder trial of Oj Simpson. I want to start a new series on my channel where I talk about different unsolved murder trials and like the people that are like usually like accused of being guilty and are most likely guilty but are actually found not guilty, such as Oj Simpson, Casey Anthony, and that's pretty much all I've got. So if you know any other murder trials that are just very like obvious in a sense and like everyone kind of knows what actually happened but like the person was found not guilty, or just kind of murder trials in general that are very interesting and unsolved, let me know in the comments below which ones you want me to cover, because I really like this series. I think it's really interesting and it's interesting to do some research on. So let's get into the Oj Simpson murder trial. So Oj Simpson was tried for murdering his ex-wife Nicole Brown Simpson and her friend Ron Goldman. However, Oj was found not guilty. Even though Oj Simpson was found not guilty, tons of people all over the world believe that he did in fact commit these crimes. So basically, these videos, I'm gonna like lay out all the facts of the trial and all the facts and all the evidence that was found and everything, and then you guys can decide for yourselves what you guys think about the actual like case and who you think did it. So I'm gonna go into depth on the case and what happened the night of the murder and what happened after and the evidence that was found against Oj or against anybody in the situation, and then I'm going to talk about some motives and all of that. So let's get into it. On June 12, 1994, Nicole Brown Simpson and her friend Ron Goldman were found dead outside of her condo. They were stabbed to death. The limo driver was meant to pick up Oj the night of the murder outside of his house to take him to the airport. The limo was there on time and it happened to be at the time of the actual murder. However, Oj of course wasn't at the limo when he was supposed to be and ended up showing up late. Before he showed up, like literally like right before, the limo driver claims to have seen a dark figure run up the driveway, and then a few minutes later Oj came out of the house to go to the limo. The limo brought Oj to the airport and he was flying to Chicago that night. What a lot of people think is weird and just sits the wrong way for a lot of people is that when Oj was given the call that his ex-wife had died, his first response before even asking how she died was who killed her. And I don't know, that's just a little bit weird. Basically, Oj was arrested for 2 counts of murder and he did not give himself into the police, which created a huge chase to capture Oj because there was a lot of evidence against him in this case. Basically, the evidence was, the biggest one was a glove was found at the crime scene and also a matching glove was found at the residence of Oj Simpson, both of which contained the DNA of Nicole Brown Simpson, Ron Goldman, and Oj. On a sock at Oj's house, Nicole Brown Simpson's blood was found. Also in Oj's house there was a passport, a gun, and a fake mustache. So it seemed as though he was trying to run away. Oj had purchased a knife prior to the killings. The same knife was the murder weapon, well, like the same type of knife. We don't know if it was exactly the same knife because, of course, the knife has never been found. There were also bloody shoe prints at the scene of the crime that matched the sole pattern and the size of Oj Simpson's shoes that he had at the time. But what could be a possible motive for Oj to actually murder his ex-wife? There is one motive that I find extremely interesting in Oj's case. Obviously, Oj Simpson was a football player, and there is a specific disease that I want to talk about called chronic traumatic encephalopathy. CTE is a disease that is found common in football players, caused by an extremely traumatic impact to the brain, resulting in a protein buildup in the blood vessels of the brain. This disease could lead to mood swings, criminal behavior, depression, violent tendencies in general, even if the person wasn't necessarily violent before having this disease. Because Oj was a football player, it is very possible that he has CTE. A lot of football players who have committed suicide had been found to actually have this disease as well. Sadly, we cannot tell whether or not Oj has this disease because you can't tell until the person is dead, because they have to like cut open parts of the brain, which is unfortunate because we won't actually know if he has this disease, because obviously having this type of disease can lead you to do criminal things that you might not do if you didn't have this crazy disease. And obviously he's definitely prone to it at being a football player. I feel like the evidence with the OJ trial definitely leads in the direction of OJ being the killers. Once again, I am not saying OJ is the killer 100%. I don't know. Obviously, the only person who knows is him. And however, there are other outcomes that people have believed who believe OJ was actually set up by the LAPD. The detective Mark Furman was at the scene of the crime and was involved with helping collect a lot of the physical evidence of the crime. However, it became known that Mark said entirely, like, terribly racial slurs and was a very racist person in general. So this led people to believe that maybe he and some other members of the LAPD, which was also during the time definitely accused to be racist in general, like the LAPD as a whole. A lot of people believe that the LAPD might have had a part in this crime and possibly tried to set up OJ out of racism. Evidence that backs this theory up was OJ put on the gloves that were found at the scene of the crime and in OJ's house. He put on the gloves during court and he was just like, they don't fit. I don't know, I feel like it's kind of weird. It's kind of interesting. If the gloves don't fit, then why would you buy them in the first place, you know what I mean? Not only that, but a toxologist said that he found evidence of blood preservatives in 2 pieces of evidence, implying that the police planted the evidence, which I find to be really interesting because the LAPD has been known for doing some shady shit, including with stuff in Biggie Smalls and Tupac's case. A lot of people speculated the LAPD had something to do with it and something to do with covering up certain evidence. So that's also pretty interesting. I did videos on Tupac and Biggie. If you want to watch them, I'll link them in the description box below. So it's pretty interesting because Tupac and Biggie are people of color as well as OJ. So I don't know, what's the possibility that the LAPD might cover up crimes or create crimes as an act of racism? Not only that, but shoe prints were retested by Henry Lee and he claimed that they did not match OJ's shoes and that the LAPD had mishandled the evidence. The closing statement on Mark Furman was that he is a racist, but that doesn't necessarily mean that he planted any evidence inside of OJ's house. What do you guys think? I feel like it's a possibility that OJ was set up by the LAPD. I'm not saying it is. However, there is also way more evidence against OJ. And of course the whole football disease. I'm not really sure what I think. I feel like my instincts are always telling me to like think it was OJ just because that's how I was brought up. That's how I always understood the case, was that OJ was just guilty and that was it, and he just wasn't found guilty, but he was. And you know, after researching, I'm starting to second guess because I feel like in a lot of cases, police departments can be very shady and like a lot of shady shit can go down. That also goes for the JonBenet Ramsey case. Why hasn't that been fucking solved yet if there's so much evidence? I don't know. It's pretty interesting to think about. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and if you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up. Make sure you follow me on Twitter, Snapchat, and Instagram because I'm always posting really interesting conspiracy theory kind of stuff on there. If you want to check out my latest video, you can click right here and click right here to subscribe for new videos every single day, and I will see you all tomorrow. Bye!